Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Simply Relational podcast. It's our first kickoff today, and we are so excited that you are here today.
Yeah. I'm Darren Krieger, and this is my beautiful wife, Dr. Shelly
Mhm.
Krieger. And we're starting a podcast because God has placed it on our hearts to talk about relationships.
Yeah. Not the relationship centered around marriage and parenting and kind of how God intertwines in the middle of those.
Mhm.
And really, our whole goal for the Simply Relational part of it is to just keep it real life. We want to keep it simple. We want to give you really just kind of real life examples.
Yes, we've been married getting close to 40 years, and so we have a plethora of
Yeah.
experiences of down in the valleys to mountaintops, to the goods, the bads, and but one thing that has helped us throughout our marriage is always having somebody there that has experienced life and has
Mhm.
gone through things. So we just want to move those, just help other people and with their situations and
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm an elementary principal and I've been in Christian education for close to 30 years.
Mhm.
Now,
Yep.
wow, that
Yep.
sounds like a long time, but close to 30 years now. So I obviously see a lot from a student parent relational part of it. I get the privilege of actually interviewing with families as they're coming in. And it's so enlightening to me as I just sit there and listen to families and listen to their stories. And you can just see so much relationship that happens,
Mhm.
positive relationships, and a lot of broken relationships that can happen in the
Yeah.
midst of that as well. We also have two grown adult kids. So we've gone through the parenting journey. We're on the other side of that
Mhm.
piece of it. Although parenting never ends, adult parenting just becomes different.
That's right.
And we have three amazing
Yeah.
grandkids.
Yeah.
So they span all the way from three all the way up to 18 years old. So
Mhm.
we've got a lot of seasons in life that we've been able to walk through and a lot of opportunities to share
Mhm.
our own
Yeah.
experiences.
I've most of my life been an entrepreneur. I've owned multiple businesses in three different states, and so I'm kind of semi-retired. I'm not retirement age, but kind of semi-retired and doing other things. I've been an elder in many
Mhm.
churches, and so I spend a lot of time in leadership and assisting pastors and supporting and pastors and what they do. And so,
Yeah.
um,
I think even more important than that, right now, we spend a lot of our time, we actually mentor and coach a lot of couples. We run a home group that includes young married couples and older married couples. We have a good
mhm.
range in there, but we do a lot of one-on mentoring and a lot of
Yeah,
one-on-one coaching with
yeah,
families.
yeah. We've been doing that for a little over 20 years and
Hmm.
have met with hundreds and hundreds of couples with a lot of different situations in their lives. And so God has placed in our heart and has given us a passion to elevate marriages and equip parents to do the best they can, to be the best they can in the relationship, but mostly though to uh, have that relationship with God.
Hmm. Yeah.
That is the foundation of relationships. And again, the
Yeah.
simple relational title, uh, it it um, it is it's what it says. It's very simple, and that's how God created everything.
Yeah. We've also published and authored several books together. Darren actually has a whole multitude of books that he's authored
Mhm.
from a fictional
Yep.
standpoint. But from nonfiction, we have two marriage books that we've written together, and we're going to talk about those throughout different episodes. And I'm currently
Mhm.
completing a parenting book
Yep.
that we're co-authoring as well
Yep.
together. And so those are going to be things that we'll talk about in our episodes. We'll reference them. We'll have a lot of resources and tools that we'll be able to share with you
Mhm.
throughout our episodes as well.
Mhm.
When we think about the simply relational term, life gets really complicated, but God didn't design our lives nor our relationships to be incredibly complicated. So at the core, they're really built on simple things. And a lot of those simple things would be like being present,
Mhm.
making sure that we're choosing each other over
Mhm.
distractions and allowing God to shape actually how we love each other and the lens in which we see each other from.
Mhm.
When those things are in order, everything else falls into place. And when those things are out of order, everything else
Could be
seems to fall out of
disastrous.
order as
Yep.
well.
Yep. Be
Hmm.
disastrous. That's why we talking about relationships, and we'll get in depth another episode. But we talk about five basic relationships in our life,
Hmm.
and they need to be in a specific order of priority. And when they're out of order, that's when the chaos happens.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've
Yeah.
got a story of mine I could share
Mm.
if you wanted to.
Yeah, go for
Where's,
it.
yeah. Well, this is earlier on in our marriage. I think our daughter was 2 years old, and
Mhm.
Shelley was a stay-home mom, and she also babysat. I
Mm.
was working, starting my career. I was young and working two, maybe three jobs,
Yeah.
constantly trying to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And but one thing about myself is I was always athletic, and one of the things that I excelled at was playing soccer. I played
Hmm.
soccer ever since I was 5 years old, and worked my way up into playing collegiately and kind of beyond that a little
Yeah,
bit.
just a little
So
beyond that.
yeah,
Hmm.
but anyway, so um, playing soccer, being in the outdoors, or from Colorado, and hunting, fishing, whatever it is, hiking, mountain climbing, that was my identity,
Mm.
my identity. And even though I loved my wife and our marriage and our kids, guys, we sometimes we get distracted, or we're not looking through the appropriate lens in life, and we our identity of who we think we are, or what we want to be, gets in the way.
Mm.
So this moment I want to talk about is that uh, this day Shelley was sick, and she had gone through the whole day of babysitting, and I come home, and I find her in the bathroom getting sick. And so I try to help
I'm
her
gonna
out.
pause you there real quick because like
I know.
it's been 35 years now. And when you say being sick, like this is that sick that like you can't get off the bathroom floor kind of sick.
Yeah, yes,
Like
it was bad. It
it
was
was
bad. I
sick.
mean, because you were also pregnant. Yeah,
Yes, I
you were
was.
pregnant, and she had some bad, hard pregnancy,
Yeah.
pregnancy with
Yeah.
our daughter, but this is another one.
Anytime I get the flu, I'm reminded of that.
Yeah, but she was sick. Anyway, so the evening went on, and I had fixed dinner, took care of our little one, put her
Hmm.
to bed, and Shelly's still in the bathroom and throwing up. And on this day, I play in this time of life. I still played soccer,
Hmm.
and indoor soccer leagues, and these leagues would start sometimes 11, 12 o'clock at
Yeah.
night because they were so popular. And of course, I was not going to miss a soccer game,
Mm.
And so I had a buddy who was going to pick me up about 8 o'clock in the morning,
Or at night.
at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, at 8 o'clock at night. And so I tried to do what I could for Shelley.
Mhm.
I brought her in towels and this and that, so whatever to make her
Somebody wash them
comfortable.
up. I
And
can
how
imagine.
will you make somebody comfortable when they're just constantly throwing up and feeling awful? But I was in there taking care of her, and then the doorbell rang.
Hmm.
I'll never forget this. Um, Shelly's throwing up, and the doorbell rang, and I asked Shelly, "Is there anything else I can get you?" And I know what you're thinking. How in the world could you, Darren? And I said, "Is there anything else I can get you, sweetheart? I've got a soccer game to go to. My friend's here." And she looked up at me, and she said, "No, I'm fine. You go play."
Mm.
And so um, gave her a kiss on top of the head, and I left. And when I got out to my friend's car, closed the door, and he took off, those last words she spoke to me began haunting me. You go
Mm.
play.
Mm.
I'm a grown man. I've got a 2-year old. My wife is sick. My wife is pregnant. And it's later in the evening, and I'm going to go play.
Mm.
Guys, even ladies, I think there's stuff in your life that you might or are in identity crisis, or think that it's so important that you're willing to sacrifice certain relationships just to go have fun or
Mm,
protect your identity. Anyways, went and played, had a horrible game, and for the next few days, again, haunted by those words, Darren, go play.
mm,
Um, the Holy Spirit worked on me and didn't give up. And that is when the a reality and an epiphany,
yeah.
uh, just I was inspired and enlightened of what was going on, and my priorities were out of order.
Mm.
One of our books is called "Is Your Life Out of Order?" And actually,
It
that's how
was.
this was, and that's
Sometimes
why,
it still is.
yeah, that's kind of where this title came from. And my relationship, my priorities were out of order at the expense of my
Mm,
wife getting sick and my little one. And anyways, God worked on me. And
mm,
then I got help from, some mentors, some men, older men that came into my life and kind of guided and directed us. And then we've had older
yeah.
couples that have
Yeah.
mentored us. Um, and kind of helped our relationship years ago. And that's kind of how we began what
Hmm.
we are doing
Yeah.
and have
Yeah, I
done.
can remember like a couple years into our marriage, like God was so faithful on putting people in our life, and they were older couples that we just made strong connections with,
Mhm.
but they were really there to mentor and coach us, and they could speak things into each of us that we couldn't speak to each other.
Oh, exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's really been a lot of the inspiration behind our
Mhm.
coaching and mentoring, and honestly, this podcast as well.
Yeah, and that's our one of our goals is just to help couples, help you to uh, excel and to elevate your marriage
Hmm.
to something you didn't even know that you could reach
Yeah.
because it's there. God is an extraordinary God. And the
Mm.
one thing is in my life is I'm not, Shelly and I are not comfortable with ordinary. We are a couple that reach for extraordinary. And that's what we want to help couples with, be it
Mm.
with their marriage or being parents. And
Yeah.
it takes a lot of people. We try to do things on our own. And
Mm.
when we do things on our own,
Yeah.
we usually stumble. When the Bible says, when two more are gathered, there I will be
Yeah.
also. So
Yeah.
let's gather around each other and support, guide,
Yeah.
and direct
Yeah.
each other for uh, just growth.
Yeah. As you're talking about that, I'm thinking about, so we have this stone that we keep here on the table, and we've actually had this stone around in our house. We have
Years.
people that always ask us, what's this stone mean? And what is it here for? But the stone is something that for us, even as we were starting this podcast, we really want to make sure there's a lot of things that we'll talk about. We'll share our own stories, we'll share some of our own things. Um, we'll give hopefully some nuggets of wisdom that will, penetrate wherever you're at in the moment. But we really want to make sure that as you walk away from each
Mhm.
session, that you're walking away with a stone,
Yeah,
something that you can actually use in the moment and the situation that you're in.
yeah. And so the stone uh, actually comes from the story of young David and Goliath. And we all know the story. I mean, it's a story that's going to be around forever.
Yeah.
And about a 13, 14-year-old that took on a 9-foot giant. And the boy, David, faithful, had courage, determined, and it wasn't by his strength that he relied on or his power or his accuracy or whatever to take down the giant. It was his faith,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the rock of his life was God.
Mm.
And so we kind of look at the David Stone, as they call it, the David Stone, and that's what Shelley was saying. We want to leave you every week at least with one stone of advice, one stone of knowledge or wisdom that you can take and savor it throughout the week to kind of enhance and help your relationship stuff. So when you
Yeah.
think of that, just think of little David and coming against the giant and taking him out because his faith in the Almighty.
Yeah. And I know for me personally, and speaking probably for you as well, and most of you listeners out there, we all have those daily situations that feel like a giant to us. The times that you're in marriage situations, even as you were just describing that situation, and I can put myself back into 35 years ago and moments in our marriage where I just didn't know what it was going to look like.
Mhm.
And there were moments that were really, really tough.
Mhm.
And it felt like a giant. And so just being able to have those little stones to be able to say, okay, here's a perspective. If I
Yeah.
can just look from this perspective, I can get through this because God's going to equip me through the midst of that. So
Yeah.
for today, I think the stone that we really want to leave you with as we were talking about just priorities and what matters in your life. As you think about that stone today, I want you to think about where is it that you put your time? Where is it that you're investing your time in?
Mhm.
What's your energy? I mean, most of you might be younger than us. We don't have a lot of energy to expend on a daily basis. So we try to be cautious about where that energy is going. But where's your energy going? Where are your
Mhm.
finances going? Because when you stop and you think about where are those three areas going and what are you spending the most time on, guess what? That's your priority.
Yeah.
You can say all day long, like, you're my priority
Mhm.
and our relationship is the most important thing. But
Sure.
if my time and energy and resources aren't going towards that, it's derailing us.
That's even when we're all going to we go to church. We sing songs of,
Yes.
oh, God Almighty,
Hmm.
you're the one, and you're my priority. And and then after the hour at church is done, and we come back home and we slide back into a little rut.
Hmm.
And God
Routine.
is God is not our priority.
Hmm.
And obviously, we don't have to say yet, but you know good and well where we're directing this. And that's for
Hmm.
another podcast of what is our foundational priority.
Yeah.
But what are we spending? Like I
Yeah,
said,
I just want you to contemplate that this week. Where is your time? Where is your energy and where are your resources going?
yeah,
Because that's really where your priority is lying.
yeah,
So we pick up future podcasts in the next
mhm,
couple of weeks. We'll kind of flesh that out a little
yeah.
bit more. So thanks so much for joining us today. We are so excited
Awesome.
to
Yeah.
continue this journey with you. Have a blessed day.
God bless you.